Dobra, zaczynamy. O, udało się teraz trafić. Nie tak jak wczoraj. W tej wodzie. Tu też coś jeszcze jest. Nie, nie ma. Idziemy walczyć. Okej. Aha. Dobra, dobra. To już myślałem, że to się nie działa. Tam będzie garadokiem pewnie. Takie jest.
So, you finally... I hope you're ready. Ready to finish your journey, of course. You've come far, but every path ends somewhere. Philosophically, not you specifically. This is the... They spoke out. They believed their ancient... But people don't... Cruel. They called it wisdom. Knowledge gleaned, but it's well, to well, why? Just remember once you. But if you go on,
To idziemy. Idziemy, po to przyszedłem. Jestem ulepszony. Maksymalnie. Wow. O, kozak.
At last we meet. I've
Orlin.
heard much about you. Your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truth buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first, and now here you are. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I've carried the weight of this land's
Orlin,
secrets
to już go
longer than I
spotkałem
care to
wcześniej.
admit. What lingers here? It's... Oh, yes, by the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. So clever. So they feared losing what Arthur represented more than losing. You can't pick and choose with a soul, but that's exactly what
Merlin.
He focused on three parts of Arthur: his strength, wisdom, and courage. He left out two pieces. One, tainted by the Four Dwellers' magic, was deemed too dangerous. Merlin thought compassion and doubt were weaknesses, unfit for a king. Without that way, Avalon's great. I tried, and I found finding it needed more than
Okej.
that. I want to bring back our king. It won't. Because
Okej.
ever though if they will help me.
Musimy mieć jeszcze dwa kawałki duszy.
I made this.
Okej, okej. Pięknie. No to lecimy. I zium. Teleportujemy się. Karadok będzie.
I was there when it all began. When Arthur first set foot on... We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, every battle felt like a step closer to peace. But then came the cost. The war crimes. We turned from knights into butchers. All because his dream... At first I told myself it was necessary. that it was the price of building something great. That's Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, and no man. But do you understand? But that would come. Maybe. Then let it. I've lived.
Okej.
Orin's a druid. I don't believe it's my decision. I've watched this cycle. We were resurrecting Arthur. In such violation, this cat. Listen, you've brought. So, you're close now. Just one more, and then go.
Ostatni? A dwa były. Czegoś coś pominąłem. Orin mówił o dwóch. A, łącznie było 5. Okej, dobra. Okej. To jest Avalon. Camelot. Zobaczymy. Musi. Jest Hiob.
You've come. Please, don't come any closer. Just because I've had enough. Enough. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? I've seen towns burnt. I've been dragged through
Aha,
every
czyli to
dream.
jest ostatni kawałek.
And most Orin wants a king, not me. But do you know? He thinks ending me will free Avalon. People take. I want kill. Just don't let me come back. Let me die. Not as. Another way. There's all. But please. Isn't that what you've been doing? Doesn't that prove Arthur doesn't? I don't care. Do you know how to not feel the burden of all, to not see the suffering my name? Do what you think, and that you hold the choice. I don't. Just let me.
Okej. Zobaczymy. Może to jest sposób. Żeby mu pomóc, pozwolić. Orin?
Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. Now you need to. I made like this. It's the only.
Nie wiem, zobaczymy.
Go on.
Are you doing okay? Let me go.
You carried a dying king across the bone. Now you stand before what started it all. An idea. I am the reason there must be an ending. I do not guide. I do not offer meaning. I require. You have brought. Now, choose. And let. You will vanish into the story you chose to restore. You will break the frame, and what follows will not remember. You will be seen. You will be followed. You will shape the world to become. Who do you have in mind? He would rule through law, not command. You would listen. He would trade crowns for a world rule. She would lead through care and quiet. Reverence would rise. He would build a world with work would shape worth. He would dissolve the old, a new law, writ. He would shift the unity if the... Then the idea shall be claimed. But first, you have to bring...
If this is what you want, then take it, my friend.
O kurde. Koniec.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
O. Żegnaj, gościu. Jesteś reliktem. Orin też będzie. Okej, zobaczymy.
You think any other human could wield it? I endured 6. I made the sun. And now you think you... No. I will reforge.
O kurde. Artur. Easy. Chyba nie przekujesz.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. The roads stayed open, the fields were guarded, and the people finally felt safe. No longer bound to Camelot or the Knights of the Round Table, it became a land ruled by its own people on its own terms. The men here stayed in Kuanat, but Yvain failed to rally the minds and hearts needed for his Grail quest. With no clear leaders and rising tension, both Kuanat and Camelot grew fragile, drifting toward division, with no one left to hold the line. You awakened the giants, and with them at their side, the Dal Rita conquered Camelot. As the capital fell, the customs of the tribes spread across Avalon. Not everyone welcomed them, but the change had already taken root. Fergus was named the new Galahad the Loyal. With One Eye and Brendan backed by the Dal Rita, the Forlorn Swords, he saw that the South's alliance was strong enough to stand on its own. He urged Camelot to leave the South in peace, and turned his attention to securing the rest of Avalon. The captain led the South to independence, breaking all ties with Camelot. Under his rule, the horns of the South flourished. Merchants, pilgrims, and adventurers returned to the roads, and prosperity once again reached the far corners of the land. One Eye ruled the south, with the horns of the south at his side. Over time, the Dalrita of the Fallen Swords rallied to his banner, forging a unified force. With the south secured, he stood in a strong position to launch future conquests across Avalon. Nianta stayed in Kuanak, and the people remained by her side. Though Anselm held the official title, it was Nianta whom the people turned to for guidance, treating her as the true heart of the community. Maggott chose to remain in Kuanak, and the people stayed with him. Over time, they grew to trust him and often sought his wisdom. In time, he took on an apprentice, planting the first seeds of a new druidic tradition. Ulfre left Kuanak alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life and spoke of him with lasting respect. Ailey turned to the merchants for support, and for a time the hospital prospered. But when they began charging patients for care, she walked away and opened her own small practice, refusing to serve profit over healing. With Helmi as the new matron, the Volca returned to their former glory with renewed ferocity, their berserkers filled with an aggression that stirred quiet fear among the other tribes. Among the united tribes of the Dalrita, the Volca were treated with equal parts awe and mistrust, seeming to teeter closer and closer to madness. Ingui turned away from the eternal sleep, choosing life over dreams. In time, she began to rebuild the Thoid among the living, planting the first seeds of a new future for her scattered people. Under Stronner's leadership, the Ulfra found new strength. He rebuilt the tribe and reunited them with the rest of the Dalrita, restoring their place among the tribes of the Forlorn Swords. Following Glerna's path, the Sven clung to the old ways, their faith sustained by the Stagfather's living presence within the unrealm of the hunt. They turned inward, shunning outsiders, and deepened their devotion to the blood-stained rites of their ancestors. You accepted the mycelium's offer and let the spores consume Sagramor's body. Now the kingdom lies under fungal control, its people connected, obedient, and slowly fading into the roots that feed the spores. After returning to Camelot, Killian lived quietly for a time. When he vanished, few asked questions. Unsettling rumors had always followed him, and most preferred not to remember.
Okej. I tak się kończy cała historia. Mhm. Okej. Dobra. Tu kończymy przygodę z Tainted. Dosyć niespotykane. O.